Wakey, wakey.
Welcome back to I'll Make a Stat of You, the podcast where we watched Kingdom again. Oh my goodness, so many kingdoms. Tom, how you doing?
I'm better.
You know? Good. Yes, that is good. Yeah, I'm glad you're better.
Yeah, I got the COVID this past week, so yeah, but I feel pretty good now. I feel like it's all gone. So,
are you saying it's all good now?
It's all good now.
It's all good now.
All right, good. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Mm-hmm. Even though it had, I mean, like, it's not a good thing. You don't want to get it, but like, you had more time to work on other things that we won't talk about, so we don't get off track.
You mean my WoW interface?
No! Why would I ever bring that up? Why would I bring up your WoW interface after we explicitly discussed it and said, like, nah, we probably shouldn't talk about that. That's not related to Stray Kids, so, you know. Yeah.
What is that add-on called?
It's called Weak Auras.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Long story short, I spent a long time coding, and
yes.
And now it's beautiful. It's perfect.
I'm so glad. And coding is fun.
Yeah,
so I'm glad
coding
that you,
is okay. So I mean, you were there, right? We were
there.
It was just like the thing that I like about coding is that it's so fucking frustrating while you're doing it and it's not working, and you're like, okay, this has to work, and then it doesn't work. But then finally, when it does work, you're like, yes, it's just like the best victory, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, we're gonna find out if anybody got a victory tonight on Kingdom. Legendary War. You like that segue? We watched episode 7 tonight, so we're coming up on it. Like the end is in sight. Like we're getting there. Mm-hmm. And this was the start of part 1 of round 3, which were the unit performances that are 3v3. They took 3 groups, they're going against each other, and tonight we got to see the rap competition and the dance competition.
Yeah.
So it was pretty interesting. Yeah, we didn't find out who won for the dance competition, but I am curious as to I'll take your. I definitely know, but I'm curious about your prediction. But you think it's in the bag?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I won't ask you why. We'll talk about the why when we get there. But yeah, I'm curious. Okay. I'm curious for sure. The first thing they did though was they kind of gave us a rundown on the current scores, which was just really confusing. And I'm not sure if it's just like translation problems, but even when we watched it the first time, I remember being so lost on what the scores were, because they were like we have the final scores for round 1 and we have scores for round 2, but they're not final yet, but they might be final later, and we'll review the ranking as it is right now, but it's not the final, and then also we'll reveal what the current ranking is overall. And I'm like, excuse me, how many rankings are you going to reveal?
I think so I think what they were saying is that for the second round they haven't gotten all the views counted.
Yeah, they didn't get all the views counted. Yeah.
So they're going to tell us what they have so far, but just keep in mind that not all the views have been tallied up.
Yeah. And so it was pretty bizarre. I don't know. I think it was just because, the 2 performances were like separated by 1 week, like three performances on one episode, 3 performances on another, and so they were like, things got all mixed up or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt. Either way, it was super confusing, but ultimately they did give us what the current ranking was overall. Mm-hmm. And the only one I care about is number 1, which is Stray Kids. Hell yeah, we're winning. Yeah. So I'll take it. Mm-hmm. And I think that it was like a big lead. We had like 8,000 points. It's just, we're doing pretty good.
Whatever
Although
that means.
there's a lot of points up for grab just in this round. I mean, like for each round that somebody wins in this first part of this round, you could get 5,000 points.
Yeah.
So even if we had 8,000, then somebody could just win 2 of these that is not on Stray Kids' team, and then suddenly we're behind.
Yeah.
Like, it could just happen. So
that's why we talked about this last episode.
Right.
The points just make they're so arbitrary in my mind.
Yeah.
So whatever. The point,
especially because like you think about like the way that the points in part 1 of this are being distributed. It's based on professionals in Korea in studio. So 33 people have the ability to like change the entire thing. And I didn't go back and look at this, but I bet if I did, there were people in the Mnet Kingdom subreddit who were like, this is bullshit. Like, we've been working our ass off to vote for our various groups, and they're just gonna give all this power to just like 30 people in a studio. Like, they could change the entire run of the show just because. So
this reminds me of like the system that is like set up where like people say what they want and then other people decide whether or not they want to do that based on, other factors. It's like a government.
Well, I mean, the thing about this round, but the thing about this part is that that frustrates me about that specifically is that Kingdom Legendary War bills itself as being a show about having the next like K-pop king of the world, and it's supposed to be a worldwide competition. And then they take that and they're like, okay, but in the first part of this third round, we're gonna put that power just in Korea.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's not what the show is supposed to be, but they're doing it anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But, maybe it'll have no effect. I don't know.
It's rigged.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I felt like the rules were weird. The way that they laid out the scores at that point were weird. Everything is a little strange at the beginning of this episode, but whatever. I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, and like I think we said this last episode as well as what Gal is saying in chat right now is like it's like Whose Line, except that it does matter because at the end of the day somebody's got to win and we want it to be our boys. So even though it's so crazy and strange, it matters. Okay.
Right. Yeah. It does. Yeah, I think it matters. So first up, rap unit going first is going to be It's One. And for that we have who do we have here? We have Sunwoo from The Boys. We have Bobby from Icon. And
and another person.
Oh god, I think I'm gonna start doing Korean Duolingo, which like hurts my heart because like me, I would rather learn Japanese, but this is what we do now, so I feel like it's important.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I think when the night after we recorded the last episode, I was laying in bed and like Anna was like I think she was like brushing her teeth or something. And I'm laying in bed and I was like, you know what, fuck it. And I downloaded Duolingo and I opened up Korean and I'm sitting there like the first thing that has you do is like learn I think the vowels,
Sure.
And so I'm like pushing, clicking on the thing and hearing it and then I'm like matching the sound to the I don't know what it's called, the character, the
sure. Hangul.
The Hangul, yeah.
Yeah.
So Anna's like, what are you doing? And it's like 2 a.m., She's like, what are you doing in there? And I'm like, I'm learning Korean at 2 a.m. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to. Like, I'm not gonna stop, so I might as well start. Anyway, it's I'm gonna do my best. Hui Young from SF9. If that's not how you pronounce it, I apologize. Well, honestly, I don't know. Anyone who listens to SF9 and stands them is probably no longer listening to this podcast after our good guy debacles. But yeah, it's fine. Anyway, so they started to work on their performance. They met up. It was pretty awkward. Sunwoo was like fanboying about Bobby, and it was, and of course Bobby wanted to just speak casually and stuff, and not.
Did Bobby just like used to be really good? Is that?
Yes, all these people believe he currently is. So, I think he used to be very good.
I'm not like this is like I'm Mitch Hedberging right now, just for anyone,
right.
So don't worry about it.
He used to too. No, yeah. I get it.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't get that reference, I'm saying he used to be good, and he
still is, but he used to too.
He used to too.
Yeah. So you're right. His suggestion from the very beginning was, man, I just want to go and I just want to have fun out there.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Like, let me get into
go
this.
Go ahead.
Look, I'm all about this mentality, right? I love the mentality of like, if you're going to do something, just do it for the fun of it and not like for the points or to win or whatever, the competition aspect. That's why I don't play competitive games. I don't give a shit about competition.
Right.
Like at work, our whole fucking system is set up to be a competition, and everyone's like, "Oh, you got to play the game," and I fucking don't, because I hate playing the game for the fact that it's like a competition. I hate competition. Right. I just want to do it because it's fun. That's what I do for everything, right? So like, I totally get it, Bobby, but you're on a competition show, so you are competing, so compete, damn it.
Yeah, he said, yeah, quote, let's not focus on winning. Yeah. Unbelievable. I just, and every time that, and I feel bad because Sunwoo was so endearing, I felt like, during that whole time, is that like he like really looks up to Bobby and was like, this is gonna be the greatest, and he really wanted to have this like moment of like them working together, and he's like really taking everything in that Bobby's saying, and I think that he's gonna walk away from this like feeling really good about their performance and everything. But I feel like he's been shortchanged. Like,
yeah.
Because he was there with Bobby, and Bobby was just like, yeah, let's just chill, man. Let's just relax. It's fine. And that was like every time that it felt like.
How do you tell Bobby, like
right.
this your idol, like you're this is the guy? How do you be like, no, man, we need to do it this way?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So both Sunwoo and the guy from SF9, sorry, they both at one point were like, well, like, I'd like to win, and it seemed like they're both very earnest, like they want to do it, and Bobby's like, let's just have fun, and where what happens, but because he's like the legend, like that they go with what he says, and they're like, he knows what he's doing. Okay, he's been through a lot of survival shows, he's won some competitions, he knows what he's doing. We should just go out there and relax, and that will win the competition.
Right.
So that was their whole setup, was Bobby basically, I don't want to call it steamrolling, it's just that they respect him, and so he just made a suggestion, and they go, yeah, good, that sounds good. Yeah, no choreography really. We'll just get in front of the camera, and they like even practice just kind of like doing hip hop moves and being like, wow, we're having fun, and that's it. That's like all they decided to do. So okay, that's all the stuff in the behind the scenes, right? How did you feel about their actual performance?
I thought it was fine. Yeah, I mean, like it was a good performance.
Interesting.
I don't really have any gripes about the performance.
I do, but
okay. Well,
go off.
No. I mean, I thought it was fine.
The thing is that I think the song is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets me is I'm like, the song is great. Like, it's pretty hype. Like, if they had released a recorded version, like, this is what they should have done, right? For Kingdom, Mnet should have been able to put together an album that you could buy and or stream of just all these songs. I think it would have been awesome. It probably would have sold super well. I would have a copy of it, and they didn't do that.
Right.
So it's really annoying that didn't happen. But it's a song. Who would get the money?
Yeah,
it would be a split. I'm sure that they have but they probably already have like deals in place with all these different companies, like as far as like advertising revenues and all that goes. So I don't know. But I would if there was an album that exists, listen to this song. I think it is a good song. I think it suffers from. I think the performance suffers from the relaxed nature of Bobby. And actually, there were some times where I felt like Bobby was focused in, and like during the hook and stuff, like I felt like he was doing a good job most of the time for those parts. But when they actually were moving around the stage, like when Sunwoo like ran off to go and do his little like green rap, which I did think he did super well. I think that he actually performed at a really high level. I thought he was awesome.
Yeah.
But like they like paused, they stopped singing the chorus and then bowed to him and then like waved him off. And I'm like, they should have just turned the camera, and then they would have switched cameras, and then they would have been there. Like, they didn't have to change their, like, we're going to relax and not do it. But they didn't have to stop what they were doing just to see him off. I don't know. I just, it was like, it was.
Also, there was sometimes when like, it would be focusing on Bobby, and he would, like, he would do this thing, which I think is, like, pretty common in live performances. Once again, we're coming back to Bobby's doing things as if this is live in front of an audience, where he is giving up the line to somebody else, like he's saying, I don't, like, this is yours, you have this line,
right?
And like, sure, but I think it's your line there, guy. Just do it.
Right. But this was during COVID. They like, even if they wanted to have an actual live audience, they wouldn't be able to. So because the restrictions were like really tight. So it's just and that's true. And then there was one other part that struck me, and this is what, like, because again, like, Sunwoo killed it. I feel like the guy from SF9 did well at his part. Sorry. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
Are
you gonna play it there? God damn it.
I'm gonna play it every time. Okay, but I don't. It's not that I don't know his name. I wrote down his name to make sure I had it. I just feel so unconfident in saying it that I feel like it's more disrespectful to
butcher the name,
to butcher it than, the guy than from just say that guy.
The other one.
I don't know. Either way, I'm disrespecting him, even though I'm like literally trying to give him some praise of, like, I think he did well in all of the parts that he had where he was solo and everything. Like, I think he did good. But they Hui Young. Okay, cool. Thank you. They had this moment where they were getting ready to go get shot with paintballs. Okay, I have lots to say about the paintball scene, but I'll leave that for that in just a moment. But so Bobby takes both the mics and is sitting on the ground and is the other two run off, and they ran off to go get their little like smocks so that they wouldn't get their fancy clothes dirty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. And then Bobby gets up, and he just, in the middle of where he should be singing, puts his mic down, and for like a whole like 3 to 5 seconds is just putting on this hoodie, and his backing track is still running.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what would have fixed that for you? Adding some fucking choreography to match getting ready, so that like if you had a choreographer like go through this and say like, oh well, like maybe right here you can like maybe somebody else can sing this line,
right,
and you can trade off or something, do something different other than not singing your lines.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that I found that really annoying, and mostly because he did that for the Inception performance, right? Like he stopped singing midway, and this time he does it again, but with purpose. He needed to put that on because he doesn't want to get his $2,000 shirt or whatever messy. Not that he really closed it up tight, so it still got paint on it, but that's neither here nor there. But
well, then where is it?
I know. So. Here, it's okay. They go back into the back area, and they use a camera effect to make it look black and white. And so they're being shot with paintballs and stuff, so there's like paint splattering all over the place.
Yeah.
But because there's not color, it doesn't really stand out that much. The first time that Jeanette and I watched it, I didn't realize that there was paint involved until like after the performance.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they had paint there?
I thought what they were going to do was they made it black and white so that you couldn't see what color it was going to be, and then they would reveal that at the end.
Yeah. Which is kind of what they did, but it's just,
but they didn't. Did they? Did they take off the black and white filter like for the?
They took off the black and white filter to when the confetti shot out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
all red.
It was all red, but I don't think there was enough.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It didn't. I don't feel like it had the impact that you might have expected.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was kind of weird. What did have an impact, and something that we shouldn't gloss over, is the lyric and title of Full Dash.
Yeah.
Now, you heard them singing. Did you hear them say the words Full Dash? Because that's not what they said.
Oh. No. What?
Because what they said was fuck that shit.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And it's yeah. So yeah, they all said it multiple times, but because they wrote it as Full Dash, full dash shit. You know what I'm saying? Full dash shit.
Yeah.
Full dash shit. Full dash shit. Right. Yep. So fun, interesting. I mean, it wasn't the only swear that we heard on this show tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the other one next. But I mean, like, again, like, all in all, I thought it was a good song. It had good parts, and I felt like it was let down by a lack of choreography. They didn't have to have a lot. I just felt like some design other than, because it literally felt like they said, oh yeah, we'll just move from here to here. Yeah, we'll put these jackets on and then we'll go back here. Like, that's what it felt like. And I'm just like, what were you doing? Like
Yeah.
when they go into the black and white and they go to the other room, backs to the camera, they should have just had a camera on the other side to watch them walk through. Or they could have had a camera guy go with them through the door as they walked through, maybe together. I don't know. There's like lots of things they could have done to make that transition, and then also like make the actual like paint part have some kind of impact, because it had no impact. So
right,
and
didn't really do anything.
it's extra harmful, I think, to their performance that the next group that we're going to talk about also used paint as a theme in their performance.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next performance was Mayfly's Five Racha, and they did Play with Paint or Paint with Colors or Play with Colors or whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Yeah. And they sure did.
They did. Colors. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. This performance was top tier. You know, at first I thought I don't really care about these rap performances because I don't really care about rap. But these were fun, and I liked watching, especially. I mean, Changbin is
Yeah, Changbin was. I mean, they're all like you get that moment of when because the team was Hongjun from ATEEZ. We had Minhyuk from B2B, and then we had 3 Racha, right? So that's our 5 Racha, and they get that moment where, I don't want to skip the cafe stuff. We will address it, but the moment where they walked into the studio, 3 Racha's studio, where Bangchan and Han and Changbin like make all the songs for Stray Kids and made this song, like they all just immediately got into the vibe and clicked. Yeah. And that's like a theme that I've noticed among these 3 groups in Mayfly versus It's One. Like in It's One, they all seem very like respectful of each other and want to work together, whatever. But it's like the second that they all walk into that studio together, their minds are just in sync. Like if you needed to have like 5 people in Pacific Rim, in one of the giant robots, like that's the 5 you'd want.
Yeah.
It was incredible. But before they got to the studio, they did have to go and get some coffee, right? So they went to the cafe inside the JYP building, and Han told Minhyuk and Hongjun that they would have to sing their order. That's a requirement to get your coffee. And Minhyuk does. He sings for an iced Americano. Hongjun asked for strawberry yogurt, I think. Strawberry yogurt drink, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. And then Han goes up and he's like, "Yeah, I'll take one of these." And then they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
I loved that. That's like, oh my god, like the camaraderie between these groups, like I absolutely love, and just to see how well they all work together, and then to be in current day and see, at least on Twitter, I don't know if it's everywhere, but like fan wars where like fans of ATEEZ like hate stays. I'm just like, but they're friends and like we like them too. Like there's no, like, it's not. I just don't see why. Like, did you? Maybe they're all new fans and they don't know about Kingdom and that they all got along and they made an amazing songs together and they all like I find it really frustrating.
I mean, you're just gonna. That's present in any sort of fan base for no real reason.
Yeah. Right.
If the fans actually knew what the people that they are fans of thought about the other people, then they wouldn't have the opinions that they do. They'd be like, "Oh, these people are actually cool and whatever." Like I don't get that, but I also don't get fandoms in general. So
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Bangchan, if he notices stays engaging in the fan war, he will admonish them on Chan's room. He'll be like, "You're better than this. Yeah. Come on," and people are like, "Oh, man." Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, good for him.
Good for him. Yeah, it's. I mean, he knows everybody, so it just doesn't make sense to engage with that kind of stuff.
I could totally tie this into WoW somehow, but I won't. We'll
appreciate that. Because I'm not even playing WoW. I'm playing Final Fantasy 14, and we just beat Shadowbringers 5.0 main scenario.
Anna wants me to do it. So oh God.
Like when
I'll just cut it. You're gonna cut, yeah. This is gonna be one of those yeah, I'll cut this later, and then you just don't cut it kind of situations.
I was just gonna say I was gonna cut it and then not cut it.
Yeah. But
On purpose.
yeah, like there's there's the competition race world first for the raids, and like the people will like vote will get behind one guild, and they're like this is the guild that's gonna get it. They'll shit talk the other guilds, and then like Max will go on stream. Max is like one of the world first raiders. He'll go on stream and be like, I don't understand why you guys are acting like this. Like, these are good people. We like these people, and we would like to see them get world first. If we don't, like, it's fine.
Right.
Stop freaking out.
Yeah, there's a weird dynamic with people, and when groups or guilds get world first, because I also feel like the tone shifts suddenly from people being like, oh yeah, we're trying to raid or whatever, and then a lot of people will just be like, oh, what's the point, we didn't get world first. And I'm like, you were never gonna get world first anyway.
Yeah.
Right, so Bangchan had already prepared a song, and Changbin was just immediately like, so Bangchan was making this song, and it's awesome, and we already came up with like a little bit of a hook for it, so let's just like play it and just let me know what you think. And they started to play it, and everyone just like vibed immediately, and Minhyuk came up with the splatter everything, like they just started to really come together immediately and figure out what they were going to do. And you know what helped, I think? They had choreography. So that was good.
Yeah.
I think that was a smart choice.
Yeah. I feel it would be really difficult to have Bangchan on your team and it like not hit, especially three Racha whole. And then like all three of them were like, all right, we're fucking experts at this. Here's how it like, we like this idea. We should do this. No matter what, it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
people should these geniuses.
Listen to the geniuses at work.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. I thought that the whole like getting to watch the behind the scenes was really great. Even like the silly stuff, like Hongjun doesn't like vegetables, and then Changbin was like, I eat lots of vegetables, and then you see Han and Bangchan look up and be like, do you? And he's like, I eat these ones. Look, I got veggies right here. And it was just, I don't know, it was something really funny about it. And then he felt very defensive, even though nobody said anything. He was very defensive immediately. It's just like what he was talking about Minhyuk, like when he was rapping, that he gets like a vein.
Yeah.
And Minhyuk's like, yeah, if you like lower your body fat percentage, I hear that works for that kind of thing. And Changbin was just like, oh, all right, it's body fat percentage.
I hadn't thought about that.
Oh God, body fat. That's. It's just like he is like. That man is so in shape. Like, shut up. Like, I get, like, stop it. Like, okay. Like, I know that he's like playing into it a little bit, but I'm like, sir, excuse me. Anyway. Yeah. So they have lunch at the JYP Bap, and it's good. Yep. Bap. And then they get to perform. So what'd you think of the actual performance? Yeah.
It was better than the other one.
Yeah, it was. It's just that is the thing, is that I feel like even if they had worked out a little bit of choreo and Bobby had not been so bad.
Oh,
Yeah, Bobby. Yes, sorry, Bobby. Not bad. He wasn't bad. Like, I know I'm being extra hard on him just for the laughs, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if he had even corrected the little flaws that I find in their performance, I still think that Mayfly had a better performance.
Yeah.
So I don't like, what are you supposed to do? Like, their performance, their song, every part of it was better. They had a cohesive theme throughout the whole thing about, doing their own thing, showing their own colors, and then leading that into social commentary about everybody being the same underneath, and that you should, like, be okay with other people. Like, it was so good. Everyone's, and the thing is, everyone's performance was flawless. Every look, every rap, everything. I especially like that Hongjoon's laugh was on there. He's like, I guess he's known for doing like a little bit of like in his on their album and stuff on various songs. And so, like, for him to like bring that in, because like that is his flavor. I mean, like, that's what he's adding to the mix. It's like a thing that he does. Right. It's like yo for Changbin, right? So for him to bring that in, like, he's really showing, like, this is not a 3 Racha song. This is a 5 Racha song. Right. This is a part of him. Like, so it
I would love a 5 Racha album. That would be
oh my
so
god,
cool.
how fucking great would that be? I would love a 3 Racha album at this point.
Well, they have one, don't they? Like their mixtapes.
Yeah, they have a bunch of mixtapes in pre-debut, yes, but they haven't had one since debut, and it would be cool to get some a 3 Racha mini album. Just throw it in there, you know?
Isn't every Stray Kids song technically a 3 Racha song with more people?
It is. But when it was 3 Racha, it's like strictly rap, and with Stray Kids, they try to do more. They explore a lot more sound, but they really, I mean, they have had a couple, like We Go is a great 3 Racha song, and that's good. I like it. It's a Picasso. Yeah. I like it. But it's not the same. Yeah. So and that was also what it was on the mixtape. It was like on the In Life. So, at this point where we are today, like, it's like
it's been too long.
It's been too long.
Yeah. Well, so this performance was the song was better, the choreography was better, the use of color was better, everything was better.
Yes, and everything was better.
And there wasn't a Bobby. So like,
right.
There
was a Minhyuk. He was awesome.
What I noticed from this episode, and I don't know, obviously we don't know the results of the dance performance yet. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
But it seemed like when the 5 Racha performance was happening, they cut to the other members, the reactions and stuff.
Right.
And in both the rap performance and the dance performance, anytime they're on the other team, so like they're looking at Bobby and the other people from the rap group and the dance group, anytime they're like the camera's on them, I am reading on their face, and maybe this is just me reading into it because I prefer those performances where they're like, they are thinking to themselves, wow, their performance is better than ours.
Yeah. Yeah, that is 100% what I interpreted from Bobby watching the Mayfly rap. Yeah. Like, I was just like, wow, yeah, he knows. He already knows. Yeah. Like shit, maybe I should have tried. Maybe this is this a competition? Where am
competition? I? Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's very obvious. Highlights for me. Oh god, there's just I can't. Okay, all right. I'll try and rattle some off here. Changbin, when he's rapping at the very beginning, he's messing up everyone's paintings and stuff. He pours milk on the guy making ink, and then picks up some paint and splashes it at the screen. And they had like a little plastic thing that he could do that to. Like, everything was perfect, perfectly timed. He did awesome. Han's fast rap was so good that one of the people doing the judging was like, when does he breathe? Yeah. Like, so awesome. Bangchan does his whole rap in English because guess what? Kingdom Legendary War is it's a global competition, right? Like, he realizes that and does his part in English and says shit. So
he does say shit.
He does say shit. It's like not it's done the same way as Full Dash, where like that's not technically what he said, but it is 100% what he said. And I like that the subtitlers at Viki were like, nah, he said shit. That's what he said. Like they just go, yeah, he said shit. I liked the reaction from Munkwang going, yeah, Chungbin. And here's the thing, I'm never going to go back and find it. It's possible somebody will hear it and be like, oh, is this one? But there was an episode. I spoil things all the time. I think we've talked about this because Stray Kids spoils things all the time. But I spoil things all the time also for you. Like foreshadow them. And one of the things that I had done, I think on multiple episodes, is that when we talk about Chungbin, I'll be like, Chungbin! And I'm always doing an impression of Unkwang from Kingdom going, Chungbin!
Ah, I see.
Yeah, and I do it around the house too. So yeah, it's just a normal part of my life now.
You're just walking around the house, just randomly being like, Chungbin!
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 Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I sure am. There's another one that I do
Wolf
that
King.
I did early. What? No.
I mean, there was, I don't know what
there was a time when I did say
like,
Gur Wolfgang.
the only thing I want to say is Gur Wolfgang. Gur Wolfgang all the time. Every second.
Yeah,
it was like the good guy. It was like the good guy of that episode. Just Gur Wolfgang.
It was. Yeah, I was doing that. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so Minhyuk, we bleed the same color.
Yeah.
Like epic. And then like, okay, let's talk about stage design a little bit, right? When the spotlights come on, I believe when I watched it, every time I've watched it, it looks like this, that rather than just having the spotlight on a black floor, they actually put a white circle on the LED floor. And so it has more impact. Like they're thinking about the stage design more. Like they just did this immaculate, perfect performance, and then when they settled into their ending fairy, they're even like Changbin's like brushing off Minhyuk's shoulder and treating him like the boss. Like it's like, oh, they did such a good job. Like just anyway, so they got judged, and the judges decided that let's see who won this one. It was 23-10.
Yeah,
because there were 33 judges, and let's do the math. Carry the 3, and Mayfly won. Of fucking course they did. Yeah, 23-10. Okay, get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, here's what I want to know: who were those 10 that are obviously idiots?
Yeah, right. Who were the 10 who were wrong?
Yeah.
Super Junior? Was it you? I don't think so. They're too smart. They knew. I don't know. I don't know. It could have been, because some of the people who are judging are in like new groups, right? So these are like people in younger groups making these judgments. So like maybe they're like really look up to Bobby and thought he did awesome, all relaxed, and they were like, man, you know what I never get to do as a new idol is relax. It would be really nice if I could do that. I don't know.
I did like how when they got into the room, Peniel was like, just call me Peniel. Just say hey Peniel. Just say it.
Yeah.
Just say it to IN, right?
Oh yeah. Well, can we go? That's in the next performance. Yes, we'll move on. The next but the next performance isn't even that. All right.
I forgot. I'm blending them. Sorry.
Yeah, Minhyuk and Peniel are different people. Right. So the next thing was the dance performance. It started with It's One. We had from the boys Juyeon. From SF9 we had Taeyoung, and from iKON we had Donghook. I hope that's at least close to right.
Yeah. I'm sure it is.
Yep. Let's not dwell on it. So they only had 3 members for their dance, so they wanted to do something that highlighted like their 3 individual skills. and so they decided they would do something more traditional Korean, and they would be a king who was slowly being driven mad by the three egos of being a tyrant, being insane, I guess.
Yeah.
That's one of them. And then being like obsessed with pleasure, like lecherous, I guess, or just drinking and stuff like that. That was the way that they showed it. They didn't really show him like lavishing ladies, but I think that was implied.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they was slowly going mad over time. I thought that this performance was fine. Okay, so like in the behind the scenes, they felt very they worked well together, but they felt like they were very uncomfortable around each other.
Yeah.
And it shows a little bit. I don't know. It doesn't, but they all performed well. I it's one of those things where I'm just like, maybe I don't know. It's really hard for me to like figure out like how this affected them, but it feels like because they were so uncomfortable, at least at the beginning, that may have had a detrimental effect on the overall performance. But I mean, really, the performance itself was fine. It's just that like it kind of like ebbed and flowed a little too much. You know what I mean? Because there were like 2 times, like generally if you're like doing like a big dance like this, if you're not doing a full stage production, you would want it to like build, and then you want to have like a drop, and when they did the drop, they did this kind of like more beautiful music and made it more what's the word I'm looking for? Like elegant.
Mm-hmm.
Than when they were acting as a tyrant and as a mad king, all of these different things. And they did a good job acting those out. So they did like the more elegant drop, and then they built up again as they like snapped, right? They're saying like the king is snapped, the egos are now going to go out of control, and they literally show it. And I was like, oh, okay, this was great. And then they had this like, then towards the end, they dropped it again and made it like elegant, and then just crushed a cup in their hands, and it was over. And it ended on such like a downer, such like a, not that I think that that the Mad King should probably go out like, oh well, everything was fine, but like I just felt like it left like very little impact because of it.
Yeah,
like if there was like a lot of cool things early and in the middle, but the end just kind of left it.
The transition
slow
to the end was also just like very abrupt. It was just like the segment ended. There's a pause, and then they're like, okay, this is the ending part now. And then they did, the energy just stopped all of a sudden.
Right. When they crushed the cups, I thought there was going to be like even though I've already seen this performance, right? When we're watching it tonight, they crush the cups and the blood comes down, and I expected like something to happen, like there to be just a little more, and it just was over. That was the end. And I was like, what? I thought maybe you would do something like just like a couple of quick big moves or something. I don't know.
There were 2 bits that stood out to me, and that was when he caught the sword. That was awesome. And then when he flipped the table with his foot, that was awesome. Mm-hmm. Those are two very cool parts of the performance, but they don't make the rest of it amazing. And man, part of the problem that I have with things like this is that this is calling back to one of the other episodes, an earlier episode of the podcast, is that it's a good thing that we had the behind the scenes where they explained what the performance was, the story behind it, because like I don't know how to interpret that shit from a dance routine. I was just watching it going, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's so like it's interesting. There was one thing that I did notice that I don't think it affects them negatively or whatever, but like I did notice that Taeyong, when he finished the whole sword segment, he holds up the sword and it is broken. It's like hanging on. Yeah, it's like barely hanging on. And I was trying to decide, like, is it supposed to be broken? Should it have broken off? Like,
no,
it looks like it's barely hanging on. And I was just like, it's fine. Like, it doesn't matter, really.
I'm not gonna. I'm not taking points away from that because I think it was just like a prop error, which whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I think in some ways, like when we were going into this episode, I definitely thought like, okay, well, I think that it's good that they decided to do this like Korean themed performance for only these like experts who are judging them for this part of this round, because this does not fit the goal of the show being a global competition. Like this, it's very, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. In fact, I think strategically, it's actually really smart for them to do a dance like this where they are, it meets those Korean themes. I mean, you hear, I think Son from ATEEZ during the commentary, he said that like when he hears like traditional Korean music, it like touches his soul. Like it means a lot to him. And if that's true for most Koreans, then you're making the right choice even strategically in doing that performance, because it's not something that is going to get you points based on views and globally or votes globally. And while I was talking about that, I was like, I bet that bears out true. So I pulled up the YouTube videos for the full performances for those two performances. These numbers are a year old. I'm not going to go back to the time of. I'm just going to tell you straight up like what they are. The performance we just watched has 1.1 million views.
That does not seem like a lot.
The Mayfly performance that we're going to talk about here in just a moment has 8 million views.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, 8 times the views is insane. So
what you're telling me is that if when we start the next episode and these so-called professionals are like, no, that performance was the better one. It's rigged. It's rigged.
It's not that it's rigged. I think that it's like the performances are so different that just depending on like what you are looking for in a performance may decide your vote. Like, yeah. I think that it would be really hard to make a choice between these two if you're there because, well, right, yeah, no, right. I'm trying to put myself in the perspective of somebody who's making judgments.
All right, Mr. Devil's Advocate. Moving on. Stray Kids, number 1.
Stray Kids number 1. Woo. Yeah, so I think that they did fine. It sucks that they didn't have more people. They didn't have more people, so they weren't able to perform more complicated dances. Sure. But I think they did the best they could with what they had. So anyway.
Okay, so here's what I'll say to that. Why couldn't they have? They chose to have 3 people. It's not like B2B going out there,
right. With only 4 people.
Short-handed, but they chose only 3 people to represent the group.
I will say they did not choose their team up, and in their team is SF9, and SF9 has a bunch of other engagements. Like a lot of their members have to be on shows and all this other stuff, right? So if they're missing, guess what? Oh well.
Yeah. Well, and because they only had 3 when like this whole fucking crew shows up for the Mayfly, I was like, whoa, they have way too many people. But I mean, obviously, like it worked,
Yeah, they had 9 people. Yeah. There was 5 people from ATEEZ, 3 from Stray Kids, and then 1 from B2B. Mm-hmm. And so Mayfly met up. They immediately. Lino winked over at Wooyoung and was just like, we're going to make Peniel the leader, right? And then Peniel's like, okay, I guess so, if you say so.
Yeah.
I loved watching the dynamic because again, like we saw it with Five Racha, but here we are with Mayfly's dance team, and they all just
They
are in
vibe.
sync. Yeah, and maybe they're just crazier. You know what I mean? Like they're wackier. All of them are so goofy and wacky, and like. You've got Felix on the team, and he's from Australia, and then you have Peniel who's from Chicago, and so they're chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can speak English to each other, and they can do English parts really well, because it's the first thing they spoke probably.
Yeah.
So and of course that's when we get the epic moment of Peniel really making IN feel awkward by forcing him to not speak with any honorific. So yeah. But it was funny. I thought it was really funny.
Another thing that is just strange to me about honorifics is like for the other group, the three of them, two of them were born in 97, and then one of them was born in 98. So they were like, like you're gonna use the honorifics, right? Or like.
But they're the same age.
But yeah, they're like
Korean age.
It's a fucking year apart. What?
Right.
That type of culture is very strange to me because
right.
Like
yeah. Of course.
The people like I work with people that are like 8 years younger than me, and like we're just obviously Peniel like brings this American attitude to the Mayfly team, right? But it's just like there's no need to speak to me in some form of respect just because of my age,
yeah for sure. Clearly
what? Yeah, I mean you're 8 years older than me.
oh god, I'm old.
You are old.
I'm dust. No. Yeah, I want you to call me Hyung from now on.
No.
All right.
I'm gonna start calling you Philippi.
No,
Philippi or Philippi.
Philippi? No,
Yeah.
thank you. No, thanks.
Philjamin.
Philip. Yeah, I don't know. So they all got along really well. They had ice cream together and called up the vocal team and made Young Kwang feel bad about not buying ice cream, and so then he had to buy ice cream. It was funny.
Yeah.
So they just had lots of good moments. Who can fly? We can fly. Like everything is so good. And like Felix being the center of everyone, I thought was really funny. Like he led the cheer. Like it's so funny, and that stuff that wasn't on stage. That was just like them prepping and having fun. I just loved it. I just loved every part of it.
See, and Bobby should take notes because they were having fun, but they were also like taking it seriously and treating it like a competition because they're on a competition.
You can have fun while preparing for your serious competition. It turns out
crazy, wild. Yes.
Yeah, So then they actually performed. What'd you think of the actual performance? Any standout moments for you?
Yeah, my favorite moment is actually from the not the full version where we get to see when Felix starts running across the table and it just cuts to Bangchan just being like, Felix.
He goes, Felix?
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 There's a little bit of a question mark on there. Yeah, Felix? Felix?
Like he's worried. He's like, no, my boy, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah. It's pretty great. There's also a moment, it was just I didn't realize watching it through this time how short it is, but there's this moment where like Bangchan is like bent. Jeanette just posted it. His chin is like pulled to his chest, and he's like looking up and he's like, "Urgh," and like that became like this epic meme on stage Twitter and everywhere of just like, it's still going around of like, and I told Jeanette, like, while we were watching that part, I was like, hey, can we take that pose of Bang Chun and make it a sticker in Discord? Because like I really need that.
Yeah,
like it's really important. Anyway. It's so good.
Yeah, we can make that a sticker. I will. I'll figure it. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Don't worry, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. I appreciate it because it's one of my favorite things from Kingdom is that moment. Okay. All right. So, there's so much to say. Okay.
Anna's saying she tried, but the file wasn't supported. Yeah, don't worry. I got you.
He look. Tom can reprogram all of his add-ons. Okay, he can handle this.
Yeah.
All right.
It only took me 12 hours.
So, because I am a madman and we're it's late. You know, I'm tired. It's just what happens.
It's almost closing time. We can bring it back, but there is one more thing that we have to talk about, not related to the episode.
But I'm not done.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I gotta let me gush about.
Look, I'm planting that seed for later. Okay, I'm letting it grow.
Okay, all right. One of my. Okay, so they performed a song by EXO called Wolf. And
Wolf
if you say so, stop it. Don't stop it. Don't bring that up. You're not supposed to remember that I did that.
But you did it so much.
I know, but you're not. It's so long.
It's as memorable
as it's been over a year.
No, because it's as memorable as you starting every fucking episode with. So Jeanette and I have been watching this show.
Anyway. So, I believe that when I did that, I also said, "Don't worry about it. I'll tell you about it later." So, don't worry about it. I'll tell you about it later. Okay. Anyway, so stars of the show, they did their own vocals, which I think is expected when you do a cover like this. But obviously, they didn't do live vocals because they were just dancing. But the vocals were so good. Everyone was so good. Their voices all went well together. Lino was first. I love that. Center Lino come out first. It was just, everybody did so well. One of the stars of the show was Seonghwa from ATEEZ. His hair, I don't know how he got it to do that, but it does like this like wave as he like moves from side to side during part of the choreo. Like it does like a full like floppy wave, and I love it. And it happens twice during the choreography. It's so good. I liked I liked when Peniel came out and ate Seonghwa heart. Woo Young's vocals on the track were incredible. I thought they were really good. Felix doing the part with someone from ATEEZ that I don't know the name of. I only know 2 members here. Like there's a lot of members. I can't hold everyone in my head. But they had a lot of parts together, and I thought that they did awesome. And Peniel coming out with a bunch of dancers on chains and then crumping, like I didn't know. When we watched it the first time, I was like, okay, quick Google, what is crumping? It was not Son, because Son had red hair and this person had black hair. This was the person who they got the close up of him licking his lips. And I don't know his name, but excellent job. A nice lip licking that person. No, Son had the red hair.
Well, maybe you're wrong, and
I could be wrong.
It's possible. Wacky arm moving. Yeah, I mean, crumping is an interesting style of dance.
Yeah.
So,
it's not, it would have been my go-to, but I think that it was impactful in the song. I felt like he because he did it well and was on beat, like the quick movements for each like note that he hit while moving were perfect, and left an impact. I think they did good. And then when he actually came into the main choreo just doing the dance, he looked good there too. So like it wasn't like Peniel just did like one quick crump and then he was like, cool, I'm out, bounce.
Yeah.
He did the big thing and he hurt his shoulder. And I don't know, Peniel was great. And it's like these are the things, like I know that I kept being like, well, B2B is everything. But like it's like these moments where it's like, okay, with Mayfly, like Min-hyuk working with Sriracha endears me to him. Peniel working with Lino and Felix and Ian endears me to him. Like they all are going to have these like special places in my heart because of them working so hard with our boys. So it's like, yeah. And so then when they've got me hooked and I'm like, and like when the show was over, like Jeanette and I were like, I love Mayfly, I love everyone. That is not who I thought San was then, if you're saying that's San. So who was I thinking of? Who has the red hair? I thought that was San this whole time. Are there two Sans? I've been thinking it for over a year. Yeah.
Yeah, who's that?
Yeah. Who's that?
Who's that?
I'm gonna have to we gotta re-record everything. It's Seonghwa. I'm not gonna re-record everything. Thank you to
Let's cut that.
Yeah, I'll cut everything.
Thank you
to
our unofficial producer, Rogue, coming in with a quick fact checking.
All right, here we go. Ready? This is good. Okay. Shh. Listen. Seonghwa. All right, I'm going to take that, I'm going to clip it, and then I'm going to put it everywhere I said son. And then I'm going to leave this in.
Of course. Yeah, you have to. Seonghwa.
Oh, Seonghwa. Okay. All right, so now I know multiple people. Okay, so this whole time I was praising Seonghwa's hair because I thought it was beautiful, and I thought it was great, and I loved when he had his heart eaten. And also, I was praising San.
Yeah.
So either way, they're awesome. Thank
they're both
you.
Beautiful
they're
boys.
Great. They're all beautiful. Okay, and then we have the jump. The jump was so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felix.
Felix.
He landed it perfectly. He jumped, he ran across, jumped. Everyone in the, whether they were in a room and watching it or even the judges, everyone was like, and he like makes the jump, lands it perfectly, rips a heart out and looks right at the camera and is looking like his beautiful self. And then, of course, one of my favorite parts is that they're doing this. The choreo at the very end is really tough and really fast moving with them like stomping and moving their arms and like wiggling all over. Right, it's all like very fast to the beat. And then as they come around, Felix and Woo-young slide under everyone, and then they get to do their ending fairy where they're all standing together, and it was just so perfect. It was like to the beat. It was perfect. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But. Will it be enough to win?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Is it enough to win? Yes, but will it win?
Oh, well, I mean, okay. The question that you should ask is, should it win? And the answer is yes. Will it? I mean,
yes.
It's the system is rigged, so who knows?
We'll find out next week.
Yeah.
What was the? You said there was something else we needed to talk about. What was the seed that you were planting?
Oh, well, actually, now that I think about it, there's two things that we need to talk about. So Jeanette has dropped a hint there for one. The other is that at least Eastern time, as of an hour and 50 minutes ago, it is Anna's birthday. Happy birthday, Anna!
Oh, happy birthday, Anna! Woo! You're old now, like the rest of us.
Yeah. Pog.
Yeah, that is an important milestone.
Yeah.
Being alive for another year.
For one, a whole another year in Florida, no less. That's an achievement in itself. I think
that is an achievement. You didn't get eaten. You know, I mean, like,
she didn't leave the house.
I was gonna make that joke, but then I was like, I can't make that joke. That's so mean.
Yeah, I did. For her birthday, I was so nice. I was so generous. I went out. And I got her some COVID.
Yeah. You brought some COVID home from the store.
Yeah. So, it's very nice. Very nice of me. But yeah. So we'll see what else I have in store for her later today.
Oh, a little secret, a little hint.
A little secret, a little hint. Some people
keep it secret.
Yeah.
Keep it safe.
Keep it secret. Wait. Okay, I can never remember if he says is it secret, is it safe, or does he say keep it secret, keep it safe? Or does he say
says
both? Both. I knew it. All right. Anyway, moving on.
I just recently was watching Fellowship. I only made it
really?
like 30-40 minutes in.
Were you watching Fellowship because we watched that Clerks clip the other day? Or
no, that's just happenstance. It was before that, but that is funny. The other thing that we had to talk about was that the musician who created our ending little jingle that we play in every episode, who is also Anthony's. Like I've been talking on a podcast for how long, and I'm gonna stumble now.
You're gonna stumble on your wife's name, no less. So Anyway, so Jeanette's brother, Anthony.
Has he's been working on a new album. It is metal, so if you're into metal, maybe you'll like it. It's the artist name is Gusuku, and the name of the album is A Grief Reconciled. So yeah, check it out. It's 5 songs, and it's pretty good. I like it.
Apple Music.
It is on Apple Music. It's also on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I found it on YouTube.
Can you spell that for the class?
Which part?
YouTube. No, the band name.
Gusuku.
All right.
Gusuku. Yep. Metal.
Oh, I suppose if I had just looked, like, I've been staring at this image and I don't, like, it just did not process in my head what it was. And then as you're spelling it, I'm like, oh, it's right there in front of me. So yeah.
So yeah, it's a good album. I think maybe you'll like it.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. Michelle says it's too loud, so maybe you really will like it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for watching with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for thanking. And we will see you next week where we get... What?
No, go ahead. Yeah, exactly.
Where we will...
What Jeanette is saying.
Where we will watch episode 8 of Kingdom Legendary War.
My Lord.
If you want to follow us, go to our website. It's makeastay.com, and we've got all our links posted there, and you can come join us in Discord and find the links to all the podcasts and everything, and great. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if you want to buy some Make a Stay merch, just go to makeastay.com/store, and you'll see some of the amazing art that Jeanette has produced.
Yes, she has delivered it upon... speaking of that, your mugs are there at your house.
They're not at my house. I have to leave the house and go... Well, I got to do that anyway, so yeah. I gotta,
right. Well, you better get those. They're in your mailbox.
I will.
So
there's something else in my mailbox, too. I forget what it is that I need to... Oh, yeah. No, I remember, yeah. Oh, Anna's got stuff. Maybe I just got to go check the mail, man. It's been like a week.
Yeah, you gotta. Well, I mean, you've been responsible because you had COVID.
Yeah,
it would be irresponsible for you to just be bouncing out there and going to get the mail.
Yeah.
So, you did the right thing by staying home and working on your WoW add-ons, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. We'll say bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.